Hello and welcome to Trying Times. My name is Carmen, and if you're new here, then I'm extending an extra special welcome to you just because I really appreciate you being here and taking the time out of your day to listen. So I hope at whatever point of the day or night you're listening to this that it's great. I hope you're having a good day or a good night, whatever it is. I hope that it's going well. And again, thank you so much for taking the time out to listen. On today's episode, I have a very, very special guest who I'm so excited to be chatting with again. I have a friend joining me who's been on the podcast before, and her name's Jigisha. She is one of the coolest, funniest, and most stylish people I've met. So I don't want to spoil too much, but I'll get into the episode. You guys will get to tune in on a very long conversation where we catch up after a year, and I'm very excited to share that with you. So without further ado, I hope you enjoy. I'm so excited to welcome back a very special guest, someone I got to speak with a year ago. And yeah, I don't want to delay it anymore. So welcome, Jigisha. Welcome back to Trying Times.
Hello. I'm
Oh
so
my
excited.
God. I'm so excited to have you back.
I know. Round two. Here we
Round
go.
two. We're just gonna keep it running. It's gonna be
Right.
every year now at this point. But no, I really was looking forward to doing this episode with you because we talked basically exactly 1 year ago, which is insane. I feel like so much has changed.
Oh my
So,
God. So much has changed. So much has stayed the same. There's
yes,
just, yeah.
it's a lot. Just as like a quick recap, I would say for how we met. We met back at university, which was so long ago now it feels. But that was really, really great. If you want to hear more about that, please check out the other episode.
It's
And
a great
aside from
episode.
that, it was great. We talked a lot about school in general, our journey
Hmm.
through school, which is also a time and a half, I feel, for everyone. So there's that aspect. We talked a lot about career and then a little bit about dating. So,
E.
oof, icky. Icky, not fun.
Ew.
So I wanted to kind of touch base on some of those things again, see how we're doing a year later, and then also talk about some other things that we really like. How's that sound?
That sounds amazing. I'm so excited. I'm
Okay.
just excited to be
Okay.
talking to you.
I'm excited to be talking to you. This is just going to be a full episode of us fangirling over each other because I think we do
Literally.
this every time we see each other.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. We
it's
work well
great.
together.
I love it. No, okay, perfect. So, first of all, like I said, it's been 1 long year. So I have to ask first and foremost, how are you? How are things going?
I've been good. I'm doing great. Work's been good. I give you my little updates, so you be knowing.
Yeah, I
You
know.
know
I
when I'm
know.
high, you know when I'm low. How about you? How's everything with you?
Things are not too bad. Going through a little bit of a
Hmm.
transitional period right now. I did mention this a little bit in my previous episode just about currently going through a little bit of like a career journey, a transformational period, if you will, or a transitional period. I don't know what people like to call it, but I did mention that I recently got let go from my job. So I'm currently in the process of finding a new one and also taking
Hmm.
time for me, which I feel like everybody experiences this at some point in time, maybe right after like graduating or whenever it may be. So it's an interesting time, but
Yeah.
I'm going through it and I'm okay. There's
Yeah.
one, I don't know if you'll know who he is. There's this one guy on TikTok that I actually discovered like I think a year ago.
My eyes just got big. You said
You're
TikTok.
like,
I'm like, oh my God,
who
what?
is this?
I'm like such a
I
fiend.
love this guy so much. His name's Steven Maria, I believe. No. Okay. He is hilarious. I started off watching
Uh-huh.
him on TikTok and he also has a YouTube channel now. So I watch all of his YouTube videos because I love him.
Hmm.
But he started off on TikTok and got really well known for doing this series called A Day in the Life of a Stay-at-Home Son. And
Oh my God.
yes,
Yes. Yes,
yes,
yes, yes. I'm so bad with names, but yes.
yes, exactly. No, but that is like his biggest like series that he kind of I think started with. Maybe there's something else I could be totally wrong, but he started with that whole series following his journey after graduating from college and moving back home to save up to be able to move out, get his own place. And he took
Hmm.
us like through what he would do every day, which is like a lot of applying for jobs. Sometimes it would be like sleeping in, just like that existential dread that a lot of us feel a lot of the time. Or he had little things he liked to do, like he would sometimes drive somewhere and then read for a while, or he would go get like his Diet Coke from 7-Eleven. That was like his thing that he loved to do every day for himself.
Okay. Yeah,
So
fair.
I feel like funny enough, I mean, not funny, not for him. He recently had just been laid off of his job as well. So, as I'm going through this in my own life right now, and I found him through that sort of a thing, and now he's kind of experiencing that a little bit.
Hmm.
He's posting really funny, but also at the same time, like relatable content about that all.
That's amazing.
So to be able to watch that and find humor in it and
Hmm.
not just like feel like, oh, this sucks, because obviously, yeah, some of
Yeah.
it sucks, but there's also a lot of good things that come with it. So I think being able to watch that and see that is just so cool. So it makes it better. All that to say, it makes it better.
Yeah, I agree. I think so. And I think that if you have someone to relate with, especially if it's on TikTok, TikTok's like the bonus. Like you didn't have to go digging through. Like it just came presented itself to you. And
It
that's
did.
amazing. But
Ugh.
also like seeing it as an opportunity for some sort of career change or like your opportunities are so you have so much to choose from and so many things to discover. And I know that sounds daunting, but at least you have like the world's your oyster. Like you can pick whatever you want
I
and however you want to
appreciate
play
that.
it. So I'm
Yeah.
excited for you. As much as
Thank
it's
you.
stressful, I'm very excited for you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I think sometimes it's so easy to get in your head and just be like, oh, like what now? Or what am I,
100%.
you know what I mean? Like all the what ifs sort of. But I no, I really appreciate hearing that. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
of course. And you're such a creative person. Like, if someone would ask me, what is she going to do in a year or whatever, I wouldn't know how to answer because I don't know where you would go. And I think that's such a rare and beautiful thing.
Oh my
Because, like,
God.
'cause
What?
a lot of us are stuck in certain careers. And for me, you'd probably just be like, oh, she's going to be a realtor still. And,
No.
maybe she'll do some other stuff. But, it's the path is still already like there for me. And I don't really have much navigating or like whatever picking and choosing to do. But for you, I feel like you have such a big vast of options and
Oh
things
my
and
gosh. Thank you. What
so
the?
exciting. It's so exciting. I hope you take it as like a cool opportunity and not as like, oh my God, this happened and such a sad thing. Like
Yeah,
it happened for
yeah.
a reason, maybe.
Oh, for
Who
sure. I agree
knows?
with that. It's so easy.
Yeah.
I think I've been trying to remind myself of that and just know that like this did happen for a reason. Now, it's opening up the doors to I don't even know what's next, but I really can't explain how much I appreciate hearing that.
Yeah.
That's
This
so
episode's gonna go
kind.
viral.
Oh my.
Imagine.
Okay. Okay. Let's calm down. You're like, I'm just gonna leave it on
Imagine
loop.
though. That'd be
I just
so
play it
funny.
on
Like
loop.
this
Oh my
one,
God.
God.
Amazing. Well, that's a dream. That'd be so cool.
It
But
would be.
no.
That'd be dope.
I, I appreciate that. And also though, I think it's interesting because you said like you feel like in your instance or for many people there's like sort of a path laid out there. I think sometimes I look at that and I'm almost I don't like saying envious, but I'm almost like, "Oh my God." Like it's
Hmm.
that idea of like the structure and the organization and I'm just like, "But that's amazing." Like I think that that's so
I
cool.
agree.
I
Yeah.
love that.
I feel like a lot, like even with my career, it's almost like freelance, right? Like yes, I do have a schedule, but that's according to my clients. But I
Hmm.
don't have like, I don't wake up every day at the same time or go into the office or I don't go to the same place every day or
Hmm.
whatever and my job at the same time or whatever every day. But when I look at some of my friends who have corporate jobs, I'm like, oh my God, they have such a structure. And you're
Yes.
right, like there's a feeling of like, oh my God, like everything they need to do is already set for them. And sometimes like I wish that was me. But
Yeah.
also the opportunities I get or I'm too creative to be constrained in that way, like to be
Mhm.
restricted. So I know that if I was in that and when I was in a corporate environment, I wasn't that happy. Like a 9 to 5 is just does
Yeah.
not fit with me.
Yeah.
It just won't.
Yeah. And that's something I feel like a lot of the time, some people just know it's not for them. But I think for a lot of
Hmm.
us, it's like something you have to really do to figure out, like, do I like this? Or sometimes the
Hmm.
idea of it could be sold to you so differently. So it might sound appealing or like it'll
100%.
work, but you won't know until you do it. So like I think
No.
that's great because for you, you're able to be like, okay, I can look back on my experience and be like, this wasn't maybe
Yeah,
for me, but I like this now because I have more of that sort of I don't like saying control, but you have more of that option of
I
knowing
do.
when you're
Yeah.
doing things.
Well, if
Yeah.
I want to do a 9 to 5 and structure my schedule like that, I still can,
Yeah.
right? Like I
Yeah.
still have the facilities to deal with that in that way. So
Yeah.
that's cool. Like I have so many things that I can like go back to, or if I make a mistake, I can still like recover from it as long as it's not a crazy mistake. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel like sometimes when it's like corporate, it's like this is the timeline, this is how it goes.
Yep.
Like you take your lunch at the same time every day, you go on your break at the same time, like
Yep.
you start calls at the same time. Everything's like done, 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 done,
Yeah.
which is good in certain things, but certain times it's like cool to have that option. But
Yeah.
I do feel when work is a bit like crazy and like I wish I had a structure.
Yeah. Oh,
But take me
100%.
back to the 9 to 5.
Now I just want to have only set hours. It's
Yeah.
hard sometimes because it feels like for me at least, I can say like some of the more creative jobs that I've done, it's always
Hmm.
been so there's such a tight schedule of how things work, but it's so open-ended in that tight schedule because it's a matter of making it so that anything you need to be done or anything that needs to be done can be
Hmm.
done within that timeline. But then again, that opens a door to like working 12 to 15 or more hours a day. And then
God
it's
knows,
kind of
yeah.
like the weekend comes and you're like, okay, this is when I can actually sleep and kind of have a life and like go outside and breathe, like not work related. So
Hmm.
it's definitely a journey right now to figure out like what is next and what works. But
Yeah, for
I
sure.
again, that's like it makes me excited sometimes. Like I think I forget because I get so in my head. So even hearing you say that, I'm like, oh my God,
Oh
thank
my
you.
God, yeah. Of course. Of course.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for those updates.
You'll be getting a lot
Whatever
of
they may
them.
be.
We send each other a lot of voice. Is it voice memos
Mhm.
or notes or messages?
I
I
call
don't
them
know.
voice notes, but
Yeah.
I think they're, I don't know. When you open the app, I think it says audio message or something like that, but that
Oh,
sounds
so it's
old.
none of what I
Is
even
it
said.
audio? Like audio sounds like not even my dad uses audio. Like that sounds
Who's saying
weird.
audio out here? Yeah, no, actually, that's true. I guess, yeah, I never thought of it that way, but we send each other a lot of those. So you'll definitely
Wherever
be
they
getting
are.
all
Yeah.
of the updates on that
Hmm.
one for
Same.
sure.
Whatever updates I have will be there. It'll be like the smallest thing.
I love
Like
it though. We send each other the most random ones, and it's always so unexpected, but I love it because I feel like it keeps us so connected. I know what's going on
literally,
because of those. Like I feel like it's so good.
honestly.
It's
Yeah.
so helpful.
It's so helpful. It's so fun. It's like a mini podcast.
It is. And then during that, we talk about all these different podcast episode ideas too, which is hilarious.
Oh,
It's like a
it's
parallel
a hoot.
universe for us.
It's so good.
It's
And I
great.
remember, I don't remember if it was recently that we talked about it, but I remember recording this in a voice note and being like, we should put voice notes like in a podcast, like all of our voice notes just in a podcast,
Literally, that could be a whole series in itself because there are
just called
so
voice notes.
many. Yeah.
Yeah.
Voice notes episode 1 through like 20. We
And
would have
it's just
so
talking about
many.
random stuff. Have you seen this? I've seen you repost them, so I know you've seen them. But the voice notes, like the memes people are doing on TikTok, like me sending a voice note to my friend, and then
Oh my
she's just
God,
like
yes. It's like coughing, you're like
washing the dishes.
peeing,
Yeah.
or yeah, like you're doing the most random stuff. That is literally how it goes. If you're not doing like three random things while you're recording one,
Oh, what are you
I feel
doing?
like you're not really recording one.
Yeah. And
Like,
then I'll send it and be like,
honestly.
oh my God, I forgot something.
Oh, by the way, it's like you see like one that's like 4 minutes long, and then you see another one pop up that's like 20 seconds. You're like, oh, she forgot to mention something. I do that all the time.
We're so loving and cute in our voice notes too. We both
I
just
know.
wish each other well.
Like, I hope
Just
you're
hope
having
you
a
have a great
great
week.
day. It's so
Yeah.
nice. It's like such a nice
Uh,
little like it's like a hug in a way.
just so you know, when I'm listening to these, it's like either I'm in on a like on the GO train or
Hmm.
in at work, and I'm just like
Hmm.
listening to it with the biggest smile on my
Oh
face.
my God. That makes me so happy. I love
Trying
that.
to like giggle because sometimes you'll say something funny.
And you're like,
I'm in public, I can't.
you're like, I don't want to look like I'm giggling at my phone. Can't be
Or you
me.
tell me something that's frustrating, I'm like angry. I'm like, what the hell?
You're like resonating with the feelings as you're feeling them
Yeah.
yourself. I love that. That's
Yeah.
support right there.
It is a podcast.
That it is. It's a whole separate podcast. So this is light work for us at this
Oh yeah.
point. I love
Ooh.
it. Okay, so going a little bit off of work since we just talked so much about that.
Mhm.
I know last year was the start of a new and very exciting journey for you. So I wanted to ask if you wanted to share a bit about that and how that's going 1 year later.
Yeah. No, it's crazy just thinking about the fact that it's been a year.
Yeah.
Just thinking about like, oh my God, what did I do? What
A
what has
lot of
happened?
things.
So much has happened, so much, and I've learned so much. I've worked with so many great people. I feel like last year I was a little more nervous and I didn't know what was happening because I just started.
Mhm.
But now I'm not saying I know everything because I don't. Please no. I don't know anything. But I learned so much. And I also learned that like every transaction is different, every client you work with is different, but it's been good. I've worked with such great people. My clients are amazing. And every time like I close a deal or I finish a transaction, I like go to closing day or something, and I'll sit in my car and I'll just get really emotional and just so happy that I just did something. And it just is so, I didn't realize how, I knew it would be like such a good feeling, but I didn't realize how much it would hit me. But
Yeah.
it's so fulfilling to find people homes. Like it's crazy to think about it. And I've done
Yeah.
mostly rentals, but even then, like just the journey of it all is you spend so much time with these people. So
Oh,
you get to know
100%.
them. And then
Yeah.
on moving day, you see them moving in. And I don't know, it's just so heartwarming. And I'm just an emotional person as it is, but I do get very emotional and it's so fulfilling and it feels great. But it's
That's
been good. It's been great.
That is so cool. I've kind of
Yeah.
always thought about that, at least myself, like in the past when I've had that sort of experience of like talking to someone and obviously they're helping you with like this huge moment in your life, whether again, whether that's a rental or a homeowner, whatever that may be, it's still such a huge thing. And they become
Yeah.
someone that you talk to very often. It's like a new friend and they have to hear about your life to some degree too. Like
Yeah.
you're really getting to know these people. So
I
I think that's
am.
it makes total sense why you're like, oh, I'm kind of emotional about it. Because like
Yeah.
you're really getting to know these people and getting to become a part of their lives, whether that's for a very long time or a moment in time. Like you get a glimpse into someone else's story, which is so cool.
Exactly. Well,
Yeah.
it hit me really hard during Christmas time because I was delivering little Christmas gifts or whatever to my clients that I've done deals
Oh,
with. And
yeah.
I don't have that many, so it was very easy for me to like go and see them and like actually some of them were home, some of them weren't. But
Yeah.
like just talking to them, I have an elderly client that I did deal with, and they're
Oh,
so sweet. They're they're so sweet. And they're so not into tech.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's so funny because everything's done digitally, right? So it's just we spent that extra amount of time together,
hmm
but I went with them and they just closed the deal just before Christmas. So I
hmm
actually went with them to give them their little Christmas gift and they're so happy. They're so sweet. She gave me like cookies and stuff and we
Oh,
she showed me how they redid the house and like redid everything and how they moved in, how they had to like downsize a little bit and
yeah.
yeah, and then when I left or was about to leave, I was putting my shoes back on. And they're keep us updated. Send us your emails, your newsletters or whatever. Send them over.
Oh,
And so because we read them, and I was like, oh my God, like yeah, it broke me in a good way. But I
the
did go
in the
back, and I was
best
like,
way.
yeah, I was like in the elevator, I'm like, oh,
Oh my
but it was
God.
so good. But hearing things like that, it just solidifies the fact that I'm in the correct career. You know what I mean? Like when I go to
That's
bed at night.
amazing.
I
Yeah.
think about these deals and the clients I've helped and the relationships I've built, the things I've learned, and I'm like, okay, we're in the right path. Like, I don't know if I'm there yet, but we're on the right path and I'm happy in
Yeah.
this career.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That is so
crazy.
beautiful. Like that's so cool to me that you're like this is, already so rewarding, but then when I can sit down at the end of the day and think about it, it's like this helps clarify and confirm for me like, yeah, this is it. That's so
Yeah.
cool.
No, I always knew that. I know in this industry, a lot of people are either transactional or
hmm
it's more like relationship based. I
Yes, yeah.
knew I would be because I'm such an emotional human and I'm an overthinker and all that stuff, all these things.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I knew I would need to be more relationship oriented, like how the client is, do we mesh well, things like that.
hmm
I knew were important because I want to find them the perfect home. I'm not saying that you can't do that transactionally, but that's just how I relate to it.
Yeah.
Um, and now the struggle is trying to figure out where the trans because I still need to be transactional in, at some
In some
point,
degree, yeah.
some sort of degree. I need to figure out how that fits in. And slowly it's like starting to fit in its own way. And that's like the beautiful aspect about this career is you just mold it towards how you are, which
That's
is
so
cool.
cool. Yeah. And
Maybe
I was
that's just the
gonna
way I
say,
see it, but that's how I see it and that's how it fits for me. I know some people think that you have to fit into the mold of real estate or the way that it works for other people. Because
hmm
there is like paths that people carve out for you. I was telling you about all these people, like these speakers who,
yes,
and we have
yeah.
meetings like every Tuesday about how, like, what path to take and stuff. But
hmm
I don't know, I found it that I need to, like, I do like listen to those. those what's it called, feedback or whatever they give you, but I
Yeah.
needed to mold into how I am as a person because that's why I chose this career, right? Like I needed to fit with me and my clients, like the people I work with, they need certain things from me, and I
Hmm.
don't think they're always going to follow this route of being transactional or being only emotional. So molding all of that towards how you are, and each transaction is different, so you have to take it differently. That's like a big thing I learned this year for sure.
That's really cool because I think no matter what career path you go into, there's obviously going to be certain criteria, like you said, of what you should be
Hmm.
following or what's obviously like a must have as like a proper practice or etiquette or whatever it may be. But finding a way to mold that to your liking or what feels comfortable for you, what makes you feel confident is something that I feel like a lot of the time we forget to do because it's so like, if this criteria is already set up a certain way, that has to be the way you do it. That has to be the way it's
Yeah.
done. And like people get scared to stray from that. I know for myself in certain experiences, I can definitely say I've been in that position where
Oh
I've been
yeah.
like, oh my God, how do I do this? Like, or if I do one thing slightly different, like that's deemed wrong or maybe not
Mm-hmm.
totally correct. So that's really cool. It kind of ties into something else I wanted to ask you about this too.
Hmm.
Obviously, I could imagine starting something very new like this and hearing all this kind of criteria and stuff was exciting, but also nerve-wracking to a degree. Maybe even bringing up some feelings of like imposter syndrome, because I think that comes up whenever you try something new or do anything new. I want to ask if, like, for you looking back now at everything that you've done and been able to learn in the last year and even before then, is there any sort of advice or feedback that you would give either yourself or maybe even someone
Hmm.
who's just starting in that area
Yeah.
now?
I think that that's like a very difficult thing to think about because I still feel those
Hmm.
things sometimes, you know what I mean? I don't know if they'll ever go away. It feels like I just have to deal with certain things and navigate through them and stuff, which isn't like bad. Like you learn from them, right? Every
Yeah.
time you deal with it. But I do, it's still nerve-wracking. It's still extremely
Of
nerve-wracking.
course. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm working with people who are so much more older than me, and they've been in the industry for longer than me. If they're not older than me, they've been there from the beginning and things like that. I was listening to another podcast and they're talking about imposter syndrome, and they're talking about how it's cool to remember that there's always someone in front of you, but there's also people behind you, right? Like to
Yeah.
think about it in that way, I know it's still comparing, but that's where it comes from. Like the root
Of
idea
course.
of
Yeah.
imposter syndrome comes from that, right? So
Yep.
that also helps me, but I don't think that's like temporarily it feels good. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Like
For
temporarily,
sure.
I'm like,
It's like a
oh yeah, I get it.
band-aid. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Also off topic, my brain is so broken. When you say imposter, I think of like Among Us and that and the music.
The
It's like
music star.
my brain is
Oh
so
my God.
broken.
No, that I mean
Um,
Among Us is great. So that's awesome. I love that that's where you go with that.
right.
Because I
But
kind of think of
back
it when I hear imposter, but no, see, now I'm feeding into it. You go on. You were on a really great tyrant here. Like you
sorry,
go
back
on.
to like the seriousness of it, whatever. I think that when you feel those feelings, one thing that I would tell myself, and I still tell myself, and anyone else going through this, it's important to understand that you feel those because you care. Like you feel those because it means so much to you and you
Yeah.
don't want it to go wrong. And that's what the root of it is. Like you care so much, you want it to work. You like for me, I want to make sure my clients get the best deal done, you know, or
Yeah.
I show them the right place. I don't want them to move in and then feel like they did the wrong thing, or I want them like I care that they get along with their landlords or
Hmm.
whatever else it is, you know?
Hmm.
And remembering that it eases you a little bit, I think.
Yeah.
Just knowing, because like if I was doing other stuff, like at my old job, I didn't feel this way because I didn't care. And that's so
Mhm.
sad, you know?
No, it happens though. It's something that I think we all go through
Yeah,
at certain points in time. And sometimes we don't realize it in that moment that, like, oh, maybe this, like, why don't I care more about this? You realize it
yeah,
later on sometimes, and that's totally
yeah.
okay.
And even like outside of career, like when you're doing things
Yeah.
in life, if you do things that you really aren't that interested in, you will not feel it. You will
Oh,
not feel the imposter.
for
You'll be like,
sure.
ah, it is what it is. Like I'm not
Yeah.
if we go to like a freaking, I don't know, finance convention, like I wouldn't care that I don't know anything, you know?
Yeah.
Like I don't know anything about finance and I'm fine to not know anything, right?
Yeah.
So like knowing that you care about it so much and it matters so much to you helps. Also, I work with great people. Like I work with two of
That's
my best
amazing.
friends, and
Yeah.
when I go into the office, like
Yeah.
they tell me that I'm doing well, and just their validation helps me. Some of they're going through the same thing as I am. So even
Yeah.
like, giving them the advice that I should tell myself sometimes helps. I know that sounds so twisted, but I think that sometimes it's just so sad, but I feel like I could be wrong. Maybe you don't feel this way, but I feel like sometimes I don't give myself as much benefit of the doubt or give myself as much wiggle room as I
Hmm.
would with anyone else. Like
Hmm.
if
Hmm.
my friend was dealing with something, I'd be like, do this, like this is how you should deal with it. But then when you actually sit back and think about your own situation, you're like, oh, I told her to do this, but I didn't do it myself. That's crazy. So
All the
thinking
time.
about it in that,
Yeah.
whether it's like relationships or like some sort of issues you're going through or work or whatever it is, just thinking about it in a third person view. We treat ourselves so bad, like
Oh,
as like
literally.
ourselves. Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
so thinking about like how would my friend deal with this? How would I tell her to deal with this? Someone I
Yeah.
care about, someone I love, someone I know that can do so well in this
Hmm.
industry. How would I expect them to deal with this?
I really like that.
Remembering that.
Yeah, that's huge. And I think that applies so nicely to people that are potentially in the position you were in when you were starting, but also
Mhm.
really anyone that is
Yeah,
maybe finding themselves in like a bit of a rough spot because oh my God, I'm so terrible sometimes to myself. Not sometimes,
same,
most of the time.
same.
So I love that you were comfortable in sharing that, but also the whole piece that you added of like support and being able to work with your friends is so cool. I think I've had the honor of meeting one or two of them, maybe. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
know.
yeah. I
But
think you met Peter. Yeah,
yeah, it's just so amazing. Just so amazing. And I
they're the
feel like
best.
they have such a good energy and it's
Yeah.
just so friendly and like
Oh,
very welcoming. And it's really sometimes tough to meet people like that who are
it
just
is.
open and very like, like, come on, like
No,
let's
I'm
chat or
so
whatever.
so
So,
extremely grateful. So
oh, I
grateful.
love
Also,
that.
they love you off. I think some of them listen to the
Please.
pod. They love you off. So it's very
Oh my
mutual.
God.
Yeah.
That means so much to me, but I just think that's so beautiful to be able to have that,
Yeah.
especially in a workplace and have that connection outside of work. Like that is so rare, but
Amazing.
so special. I
I
love
agree.
that. Well, now moving away from the sentimental, one more
Uh,
follow-up question, and you know what's coming. You know, you know what's coming. Last time we briefly chatted about dating, and we more so talked about it from the angle of Hinge, including some terrible prompts, one-liners, that sort of experience that we've definitely both experienced, I can say. But I wanted to ask if since then you've seen any new prompts or
mhm.
anything funny on a profile that you're just like, I can never forget this. And if you can't think of anything, that's totally okay too.
I think it's still those voice prompts that get me.
Yes.
Those are funny.
I fully matched with someone because of a voice
Oh
prompt.
yeah. Yeah, yeah.
It was
I
hilarious.
I think the way, well, obviously, it's so obvious to say this, but the way you curate your profile will obviously get you
Yes.
more attention.
Hmm.
But like when effort is shown, oh, that's great. Like when
Yeah.
there's some sort of something, like I know I was scrolled past through a profile that they had the same theme throughout, and I forgot what it was,
Oh my
but like
God.
just the same theme. Like they were just in love with that one thing, and every single prompt, every single picture, like related back to that one thing, and it was so funny.
That's actually amazing.
And it
I
was such
love that.
it was something dumb, like a fruit or something.
I was
Like
gonna
it
say
was
like a
so
food
dumb.
or something. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's stupid, but it was so good. It was hilarious.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Sometimes I feel like there's overkill, but sometimes when it works, it just works.
it
And it's
works.
like, it's so funny because you won't forget it. Which, like, if there's
No,
any way you want to feel unforgettable in a sea of profiles, that's probably one way to do
that's
it.
it. Yeah,
But also, I just feel like there's two sides to the voice prompts. One side of it is that it could be super funny and lighthearted and really do a good job at showcasing someone's humor. The other side of it is like I've seen a couple pop up where it's like, you should not go on a date with me if, or you should not match with me if. And then the person's so stern in the recording and they're like, if you don't like to do this or da, da, da. And I'm like, oh my God, like
scary.
not that it's not that serious, but also it's not that like calm down. It's
So
just it's
scary.
scary.
Yeah.
And then I'll like
Oh,
scroll through
I'm
some more
just a
profiles.
girl.
Yeah,
Let me live.
I'm just a person. I'm just a human. Let me be. Like I'm just doing my little daily tasks and now you ruined my mood for no reason. So some of them are scary, but some of them really make up for the
Or
scary ones
silly.
and they're
Have
so
you heard of
funny.
any? Do you have any in mind that are like, oh, this one stands out. This one's
I
crazy.
do, and it was literally the person I was the person I matched with. I don't think they'll even listen to this, so it's fine. But
You
it was
get
that,
DM. You're like, you were talking about
what was
me.
this? They had a thing and it was like, share your best celebrity impression.
Hmm.
And it was them doing a Mickey Mouse impression, which doesn't sound like it'd be very funny, but it was just so like the way it started was their voice was kind of lower, and they're like, this is my impression of like Mickey Mouse. And then it just got so high pitched in 5 seconds, and it was so like it caught me off guard. And then at the very end, he was just like, yeah, thanks. I
Oh,
like it went
it's
back to normal.
subscribe.
I was like, this is amazing. Like, thank you for sharing your talent. Like, wow.
That's funny.
I
No,
was
that's good.
blown away. But
That's
so
hilarious.
that's
Yeah.
probably one of the very few ones I could remember. And then
I
I'm
think
trying to
voice
think.
prompts like that are really cool because it almost makes you feel like, okay, if I was in the same room with this person, would they do this? Do you know what I mean? Like it just
Yeah.
makes you feel, it's like more personable.
Yes, yeah. Especially
It's
if
so
it's something
funny.
so like lighthearted
Like that.
or random. Yeah, like sometimes it's just kind of like, okay, like it confirms you're not maybe a total psycho. I don't know.
Have you heard the ones where I've seen, well, I see it a lot on TikTok too. I
Uh-huh.
guess I don't have like experiences myself as
Yeah.
much anymore, but like on TikTok, I see like people going through their favorite profiles that they've matched with or whatever. And
Hmm.
those TikToks are so funny. But I remember seeing one and the guy's name was like Paul. And he was like,
Oh,
that's how you
Paul.
pronounce my name. And he pronounces it
Oh
so
my
wrong.
God. And you know what? I think you and I talked about this on the last episode we did too, because
Yeah.
it makes me laugh so hard when it's such a generic, not gen oh, that sounds terrible. When it's such a
Well, it
popular
is though.
name. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, how can I say this in a better way? A popular
Yeah.
name. Yeah, because it's like someone being like, my name's Michael. How's that pronounced? Michael. Crazy
Silly.
behavior.
So silly.
Truly.
I
Sometimes
love
it's
it though.
like I can't get a read on if they're just doing it to be funny or if they're being legit. So I never know.
And then there's people like you and me who are like, I'm not gonna figure out what my name is.
Nah, you can have good luck. I mean, like for mine, it's
It's not that
literally
difficult.
like I don't think either of ours are difficult, to be honest.
No.
People will still find a way to fuck it up, though.
Oh yeah.
They
And it's just
will.
funny now. It's
Yeah,
so funny.
just in it for the
Yeah.
gigs at this point.
The gigs,
The
the
gigs.
giggles.
Let's see where it goes. But
But those
no,
are
okay,
great stories
cool.
when people pronounce your name wrong.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
just here for the, what did the kids say? The little ones, what did they say? I'm here for the plot.
Oh yeah, doing it for the plot.
Doing it for the plot.
Oh my
That's
God, I
just
feel
us.
so old.
Could never. Mm,
Me? I could never.
everyone listening to this just cringe. They turn it
They clicked
off.
off.
You need to cut this part out. Just cut it out.
I'm keeping it. I'm keeping it.
You're gonna see a drop in your
Yeah, you
no.
see like the minute by minute, and then right at this moment in the episode, it just goes like plummets. There's nobody
Yeah.
listening anymore, which sucks because there's some great questions coming up. Just saying,
Yeah.
sucks. If
This
you
is
stop
tea.
listening, you won't even know.
No, you won't. And I
So
promise
yeah,
I won't say doing it for the plot anymore. I promise. That was the last time.
I promise that was it. That was only it.
I say another cringe thing. Ugh,
You're like, so me yapping.
not me yapping.
Oh my God. I actually caught up with a good friend last night, and we both talked about how annoying it is hearing people say that, but then ironically started doing it and did it for the rest of the evening.
What do you want me
I'm
to
like,
do? What how
how?
do you
We
want
brought it
me
up.
what
How am I supposed to act now?
obviously I'm supposed to call out the fact that I'm yapping.
Me? Yapper. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
me.
That's me. But if you see me in real life and you don't know me, I'm silent.
Oh,
Silent.
not even a yapper. Does she
No.
even talk?
Is she okay? No, she's
No.
not. She's not.
Just that's just Carmen. That's just
That's just
Jiggy. That's just how they are.
that's just me. She's just being Miley, literally. It's literally just me. Yeah, people are clicking off for sure. Okay.
Oh yeah, they're gone. They're gone. No one's left.
It's literally just us now.
This is where you ask the hard-hitting questions. This is where we talk about the real stuff.
This is where we get into the
No one's
deep
listening.
things.
No one's listening.
No, that's it. It's just for us, and that's okay. I'm going to take a bit of a turn here. I feel like something, and this is something we talk about a lot in voice notes, memos, audio messages, whatever it's called. We talk a lot about things like TV shows, music, movies, books, and that's something I feel like a lot of the time, if someone brings something up like that on a profile, sometimes that's something that I feel like encouraged to want to
Oh
connect with
yeah.
someone over. So I feel like since we talk about it on such a regular basis, I
Hmm.
wanted to ask, what are your top three choices or go-to things right now? And this doesn't have to be like three from every category, or if you want for it to be, it could be, or if there's like three things right now that you're like, oh, I love this on.
Hmm.
YouTube or I love this show, this song's my favorite, like whatever. I would love
I
to
feel
know.
like, yeah, I don't think I have a rotation of three. You know what I mean? Like I
Ooh,
don't
okay.
know if I would stick to any of them. So I'm sorry if I say more than three, but
That's
like
okay.
sometimes if I have a shelf full of books, but
Ooh.
the last time I read was a long time ago. You know what I mean? Like so I can't say that anymore. But at that
Yeah.
time I would have said books, right?
Yeah.
So right now, TV shows. I'm
Ooh.
obsessed with a lot of TV shows right now. One Day just messed me up. I don't know
Oh,
if you finished One Day yet. Did
I
you?
haven't started. I literally just had therapy on Monday, so I'm like, I don't know if I want to mess it up that
No,
fast because
you're
I've
good.
been
No.
reading things online and I'm like, ooh, and I went on Letterbox and
Yeah.
I was reading what people were saying, like the top 10 reviews, and I was like, ooh, I don't
I
know if
would
I'm
watch it.
ready.
Yeah, obviously, yeah. Wait
Yeah.
till you're ready because it's a bit, but I
Yeah.
would watch it just because they have a brown girl and it just
Yes.
warms your heart.
I've been
Oh,
following her on Instagram
I
for
love
so long
her.
now, and I was
She's
so
so funny.
excited, but I'm just so
Yes.
scared to watch.
No, I would, yeah, take your time. Take your time, but
Yeah.
definitely watch it. Take your time. It's really good. They're both
Yes.
incredible actors. I don't know if you watched the movie. Have
No,
you
I
watched the
haven't. I
movie?
know the
Okay,
premise,
yeah.
but I
Yeah.
just yeah, that's about it.
No, I think the movie was great, but this is just, I'm just, maybe I'm biased, but like just seeing some representation warms my heart so
Yeah,
much. And the way
of
she speaks
course.
about it, like, I don't know if you saw an interview, but she was like, oh, like, I don't know why does it matter if she was brown or not? Like, what her, like, ethnicity was. Like, it didn't affect the storyline really. And I was like, that's
Yeah.
such a really important way of saying it because true. Like, of course, it didn't affect the storyline. It doesn't matter. It's
No.
just there's only one type that is casted at all times for no, I don't know, like what the excuse is now, right?
There is
So,
literally no excuse. Like that's the crazy part. And I so agree with you on that because there's literally no excuse for it, but it's just
yeah,
like the one thing being done over and over and over.
yeah. And her handling those questions so well was so
Yeah.
great. Like, she was the correct person.
That's amazing. She's very
But yeah,
poised, but so funny.
so funny.
Yeah.
So freaking funny. She's hilarious. Her interviews are hilarious. And she's so out of pocket sometimes. Like, why did you just say that?
I
And then
love
she'll say
that.
it in like her little accent, acting all like
So
smarty.
cute.
So
Yeah.
cute. She's so cute.
Oh my
But that's
God.
one movie. I just finished Fleabag. I know I'm late to it, but I just
Oh,
finished
great.
Fleabag. It was
Great.
great. So
Yes.
good.
I
So good.
love it.
What else? Brother's Son. The Brother's Son is really, really good.
That's on my
So
list.
good. It's
Okay.
I binged it like I've never binged anything for a while. Like
Okay.
I
Okay.
binged it and
You were in
so
it.
bad to admit. Oh my God. I swear I'm a busy girl. Like I do work, but like I binged it
No, but
in
you
like a
make time
day.
for the things you love, even if you're tired, and that's okay.
So yeah, I don't know if this like TV shows and movies, also movies I've been like going for a lot. Like haven't
Okay.
watched like when it first came out, I didn't watch Don't Worry, Darling, but it just came on
Okay. Yeah.
Netflix and
Yeah.
I watched it. It was good. It wasn't
Okay.
ending was I was kind of confused, but not
Oh.
confused, but kind of like, ooh, I could have done with a little more. But
Oh, okay. So a little
I thought it was good.
inconclusive. Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. It was also cool seeing Harry Styles act in
Yeah.
it. Like, oh,
Yeah.
that was crazy. Have you seen it?
No, it's on my list and I saw they added
Watch
it. So
it.
I was like,
That's it.
all I can ever remember, and I don't want to talk too much about it, is just like the PR fiasco when the movie came out.
Yes.
It was just,
Yes.
it was taking over everyone's lives and everyone was watching to see like all the award shows and like observe like chemistry between people or like interactions between
Oh
people.
my
And
God,
so
crazy.
now that that's passed, I think I will actually sit
I'm
down and watch it.
so glad I didn't watch it during that time because I feel like outside factors affect me a lot sometimes
Yes.
when I'm watching shows like this or movies or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that and I also like started doing this thing a year ago where I stopped watching trailers. Like I don't know I go into movies not knowing what's happening
I love
and I
that.
just walk into them. Like I recently watched Wonka, didn't I just don't I avoided everything.
I think that's great though. Sometimes it
Yeah.
works out for the best, sometimes maybe not so much.
No.
I'm not gonna, ugh, I don't want to say anything too bad about it. I heard a lot about Anyone But You, and I did not watch the trailer. And my friend and I, like my best friend and I, went to watch it in theaters on Valentine's Day. Oh my God.
Oh, oh my God. Oh no.
I I left and I was like, why did I pay for that? No offense to anyone who likes the movie. That's totally fine. But a lot of people are really fighting it and saying like, "Oh, it's bringing like true rom-com back." And then on the other hand, there's people being like, "I swear to God, AI wrote and created that movie." And I'm kind of more so on that team because I don't know what I watched.
Yeah,
Two
yeah,
beautiful people. Don't get me wrong,
yeah.
very beautiful people. But what even happened? I couldn't tell you.
Honestly, it was a very like I could have done with just watching. That should have just came out on Netflix.
A
You know what I
hundred
mean?
percent. A
Like
hundred
I would have.
percent.
That seems like a Netflix movie. I would have watched it and
Yep.
chilled and whatever.
And then that was it,
But
called it a day. But no, it was
yeah.
a for it to have like a theatrical release. Crazy.
Well, speaking about like all of that, like how you were didn't watch a trailer and you watched and you're like, what the hell?
Hmm.
All of Us Strangers, I think that's what it's called.
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
With Hot Priest from Fleabag and
Yes.
Paul Mescal,
Yeah.
also like hot, maybe not priest, but hot.
Maybe not the first one, but but still hot.
Yeah. Have you watched Normal People?
No. Is that gonna wreck me?
Uh,
Yes.
All of the
Oh God.
Strangers. So I thought All of the Strangers was going to be some beautiful movie because all of their PR interviews and stuff just sounded so fun and crazy and like a who. I turned the shit on and I was a mess from the
See,
beginning till the end. It's not like they even ease you into anything. I was a mess. It was
oh,
an
I
incredible
can't.
movie. It was a very good movie, but I was like, what is happening? Like, why?
I don't know that I can do it.
Oh, it was, but it's really good. Acting is amazing. They're
Oh,
both incredible.
yeah,
Yeah.
but just a
Yeah.
lot. Just a
Or
lot.
even like Saltburn. I remember watching Saltburn without the trailers, but that exceeded my expectation. I thought it was a great movie.
See, my thing is like, because I've not seen it, my only exposure to it is The Drain.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
I'm like,
Yep.
I don't know
The
where I'm
thing,
at with
I'm
that.
not saying like I'm into the drain scenes. I'm not that kind of person. I need to make that
But
clear.
you're like the movie as a
But
whole. Yeah, yeah,
I like when things like surprise you. I like when you're watching something and you can't predict what's happening, and that movie
yeah.
really made me feel like I couldn't predict anything. And
Fair.
I
Okay.
just thought it was like a film. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if you took film class at Brock, but like when you watched
Oh,
movies and
yes.
film and you're like,
Yes.
what am I watching? But then that thing is like always in your head. Like it's
Yes.
always gonna be there. And
I
that's what I think Saltburn
overanalyze.
felt. Same.
Yeah, those classes taught me very well to overanalyze. And I'm appreciative for it, but then sometimes it's if I watch something that is literally like it sticks with me for days, like I will think about it for days. But then if it's from an analytical standpoint, oh my God, I'll go into like a wormhole. I'll start reading about it online. I'll start
Oh
like
yeah.
thinking about all the time. It's like obsessive. And I'm just like, oh
Yeah, no,
God.
for sure. For
Yeah,
sure.
but
It
that
does do
definitely
that.
seems like one of those movies that, along with Don't Worry, Darling, that people can talk about and think about for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
so that's
I
fair.
think they're
Okay.
good. I like things like that. My
Yeah.
favorite movie, I feel like it's last year, was Talk to Me.
Oh my God, this is the hand, right?
Incredible, so good. And these like little YouTube parkour
That's
stunt
yeah,
boys, these
yeah.
Aussie boys, they're from Australia, right?
I
I
believe
want to like
so.
miss, I don't know,
I
whatever.
believe
Those
so. Yeah.
mans, they like
Those man.
directed it and it was so good. And I watched because they did collab with like Sidemen and stuff in the beginning, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Raka Raka. So like just watching them do this, I was like, I never would have thought that this would happen. And for it to be an A24, like that's crazy.
crazy,
And it was
crazy.
such a good movie, like such a good, so good, so good.
I've heard so many wonderful things about it, and I could be crossing my wires. I'm like, I don't watch a lot of scary movies, but then if there's one type of scary movie I will not watch, it's anything to do with the idea of like possession. Because I find it so like chilling and scary
Yeah,
and
yeah,
uncomfortable to sit through,
it is
which is why
uncomfortable.
I saw the trailer for it and I was like, holy shit,
Ooh.
this looks like scary. So
Hmm.
that's the only reason I haven't watched it, but I've only heard incredible things about it,
Yeah,
which is
it's
amazing.
good.
Oh my
I love horror
God.
movies, so this was like it
It
really,
was perfect.
yeah, fed into what I needed at the time. It was great. It's so good. I need
Oh
to
my
rewatch it though,
God.
because it's on Netflix now, I think.
Yeah, they did recently add it to something. I feel like I
Oh,
get it all mixed up. I go to like Disney and then I go to Prime and then I go to Netflix. I'm like, I don't know what's what.
same, same.
Oh
I
my
also with
God.
that movie, it's the story behind it, like the people who made it, the people who
Mhm.
directed it, like that story. Maybe I'm biased, but I'm just like I want to love it so much,
Oh, of course. Because if you have
right?
that sort of like connection to a creator or someone or a creative, whatever it may be, then I feel like it definitely encourages you to go out and do more and seek more and like want to understand that experience or that
100%.
story. So I think that's cool because you're enjoying it from a totally different perspective as a
Oh
whole.
yeah.
And I think that's sometimes the best place to be.
Yeah. You asked
Cool.
me for like three things, topics, and I just gave you one. We're talking about it like this whole time. But there's so much. This is
No,
like
that's
my favorite
great.
topic.
No, I
It's such a
love
great
it.
topic.
It's so cool. So then going off of this, I guess, are there any other like top threes that you have right now? Whether it's like
Um,
music or anything like that?
Food, like food spots,
Oh, you could do
especially in
food?
Toronto.
Oh my
Yeah,
God,
I
share.
love talking about different food spots. I feel like I have my own opinions on certain food spots, but I'm all ears. Like, tell me where, because new things are always opening. I'm open to like
Yes,
new
yeah.
cafes, new restaurants, new whatevers. Like, tell me about it.
Ooh,
We're talking about that's
cafes.
fun. New
I get so
cafes.
you introduced me to two cafes that I love in Toronto now. One is a little bit more popular. Actually, no, I'd say maybe in their own ways, both of them are quite popular. But Cafe 23, oh my God, I miss going there. We used to have such great like meetups there and just hang out. And it's their little patio
Yeah.
in the back
It's so cute. Everyone
is
working there is so
so
cool.
cute. Yeah,
People who
everyone's
drink
so
coffee from
nice.
there are so dope too. Like whoever gets coffee there, we're cool. We're so cool.
I know, I just walk in, I get my little like
Like
matcha and I
Queen
like
Street,
walk out and I'm
yeah.
like, yay. But so that
It's chill.
place,
Hmm.
I miss their almond croissants more than anything. Oh my
So good.
God, I love them. That place and then Forget Me Not, you
I mean,
introduced me
that's so
to.
cute.
Like
Yeah.
the
Forget
original
me not so
location,
cute.
because now I think they have multiple, which is so cool.
Amazing.
That place is great too. Are there any other cafes that you've tried where you're like, oh my God, like you love going back or you've thought about going
Mm,
back?
Whenever I get coffee, it's near the office, so it's one of those two.
Of course, yeah.
Or I don't know. There's new spots in the Well, and I always just forget what their name is. We just recently went to Neo
Oh,
Coffee or Neo Cafe. I don't know, Neo
hmm
something. And that was
hmm
cool. I recently tried Pilot, which is cool. There's a bunch of
Oh,
spots
Pilot is
on,
cool.
yeah, on
Yeah.
Ossington too that I really like. I just don't remember their names really.
Okay, fair,
You
fair.
just
There
walk
are a
in, you're
lot.
like, oh,
Yeah.
these are good. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
There's
yeah,
so many
fair.
different spots, and they all have the craziest names. Oh, there's one. Oh my God, I forgot where it is. I think it's College or Young, somewhere there. It's called Our Hours or something like that. Something Hours is there. Very cute
Oh,
spot to work. It's
okay.
fun. It's like not close to, maybe it's closer to like Wellesley Station, somewhere there. It's really
Yeah.
cute. I'm
Okay.
sorry, I'm butchering the names,
No, that's
but
okay. Sometimes it is tough to remember
I
unless
don't
you're like
remember
actively like taking a photo of like a cup or like the
something.
actual storefront or like writing down a list.
Yeah.
Because I know people do the whole thing now where like they'll write out their whole list of like different spots they want to hit up and check out and then check them off as they go. So if you're not doing something actively like that, it can be so hard to remember because there's so many of them.
To be honest, I did that with like food and stuff, but with
Yeah.
cafes, because you go and it's such a quick thing, you
Yeah.
grab it, you leave, or you chill there for like a bit and then you leave.
Hmm.
If you're working there, I think, oh, Beatrice. That's where I used, yes, Beatrice
Oh,
is cool.
okay.
That's near my office too, but it's very hard to find seats there. But I remember I
Oh,
always try to go early. But yeah, that's a
fair,
cute place.
fair.
But anyways, if you're not spending time there, it's hard for me to remember. Maybe I'm just not a observer. Maybe that's something I need to work on.
No, no, I don't think that's it at all. If you truly are going in and you're not actually sitting down, or you're not
It's
actively
hard.
seeking out a place to go sit and work or relax or read or whatever it is, then yeah, there's a good chance you're just not going to remember
Yeah.
because it's like you could really just walk into any place and it all seems kind of the same. So I don't blame you for
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Honestly, I was just
Okay,
thinking about
fair.
it too. I'm like, oh, Retta, behind Retta, there's the, I don't know if did we go there?
Oh, wait. Actually, yes, they have a little
Cafe in the
like
back.
cafe in the back that
It's a
actually,
cafe,
yes,
but in the back, they have a little thingy, an entrance.
yeah, you introduced me to that because we went there
Yeah,
one
yeah,
day. I
yeah.
remember to just like chat and catch up. And then you're like, there's a cafe in the back. And I'm like, what? And then you're
Yeah,
like,
there's a
yeah.
cafe in the back.
And we left and you're like, yeah, just I remember the way you took me to because there was like a little alleyway.
I'm like, I'm
It's
not
not
gonna murder you,
sketchy,
I
but
promise.
you're like, it's literally down here. And in my head, I was like, I had no doubt that like you were gonna take me to this cafe, but I was also like, where are we going right now? What's
Jay, what
going
the hell's
on?
happening?
I was like, what is this? And then yeah, it was like the cutest little cafe out of nowhere. So
It's so cute. Yeah, it's nice in
very
there.
pleasant surprise. I loved it.
No, there's so
Great.
many new ones. You need to come back.
I really
I
need to.
need to,
We're trying to plan this. We're trying to make this happen.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I
No,
say
we
this
have
as
to
if I'm
work.
far away, as if I'm a flight away. I'm literally a train ride away. It's not that deep.
It's fine. We'll figure it. But the thing is, like sometimes, especially in the winter, it's rough. You can't.
Oof.
You still want to
Yeah.
leave your room. You don't want to leave
Yeah.
your house. You don't want to leave your bed.
Honestly. I was gonna say more specifically my bed. I
Yeah,
don't.
no,
Yeah.
I don't
No,
want
it's
to.
true.
What else is there in rotation? Oh, like podcasts and stuff. Oh my
Yeah.
God, I don't know much about like horoscopes
Okay.
or
Or like
astrology and stuff, but
astrology.
I
Yeah.
love when some of my friends or new people I meet, they're very like into it. And when they talk about it and how I feel like astrology
It's
girlies
cool.
especially are so passionate about it. And it
Yes.
just makes me feel like, oh, I need to learn more. I want to learn more. But I
Yeah.
don't know anything. So I guess that's better because then I get to like understand and like learn more about things.
I think it's
I
so
don't
cool
know.
when I meet someone that's into that, like you just said,
Yeah.
and then they go on to be like, "Are you this sign?" And I'm like, "How did you just like peer into my soul and know that?" And then they're like, "Oh yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
I can tell from your demeanor, you kind of have like these traits and these traits." And I'm just like,
Oh my God.
"How did you know
What
that?"
are you?
I'm a
What's your sign?
Cancer,
What are you? Oh, Cancer.
very
Okay,
emotional,
that's
so it's very telling. Yeah.
I'm a Taurus. Apparently we get along-ish. I don't
Oh,
know. Does that make
actually,
sense?
yeah, my
Does that fit in a
sister,
little bit?
yeah, my sister and I are so close, and she's a Taurus. So I
Oh
can
my
see why that
God.
makes sense now. That's wild.
Yeah.
Wow, we've never
Isn't that
talked about that
crazy?
before.
Do you have co-star?
No.
Oh.
I have this thing called the pattern. I used to have co-star.
Oh, the
Yeah,
pattern. The
it's really
pattern sounds
cool.
scary.
I'd recommend it.
The pattern. That
No, it
sounds
gives you
so
like
like,
kind of interesting insights into like what the next phase might look
oh,
like for you. Like it goes into phases and stuff. It's really cool.
cool.
Yeah,
I literally just have co-star because I add everyone on and I send them like
I love that.
things like the big da da da. You guys are compatible today. And I'm like,
You're
send
like,
it
here you
to
go.
them.
Did
We're
you see that?
compatible,
We are.
which means we should hang out. Like, what are you doing? Who was your childhood crush? Who was your
Oh.
first crush?
Oh, okay. There's one. This wasn't even like, I don't know if I know I would say childhood. This is probably when I was like 10 or 11, I think. Well, okay. This is hard because everybody had like High School Musical. So like obviously Troy Bolton was like a huge fave.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
then there were like all the boy bands coming out and all that stuff. And like Jonas Brothers
Mm-hmm.
were a huge thing. Oh my God,
Mm-hmm.
still love them. We'll get into that. But at a certain point in time for me, my life was literally just the Naked Brothers band. I love
Oh my
Nat
God.
Wolff. I did I just bring up like
So
a lost
that's
memory?
no, I just didn't. I forgot I forgot them. So
Oh yeah.
basically, yeah, I lost memory. I didn't
Yeah.
know who they were. I wasn't
Yeah.
even that into them like that.
Yeah, no. And I know Nat Wolff does like a lot of acting and him and his brother Alex still do music, but then Alex also does
Oh,
acting and I think he directs, I could be wrong, but he was in, Hereditary?
yeah,
Yeah, Alex was in that.
that's so fucking funny.
So they're still very
That
much
yeah,
like they're
that's
still doing
hilarious.
things.
When I said childhood crush, I was thinking like cartoons. So me and you took it
Oh
there.
my God. Okay, okay, cartoons. Oh, I don't know. Danny Phantom.
I freaking love Danny Phantom. That was my answer. I have a my friend painted me a picture of Danny Phantom.
Amazing. I love that.
I loved him. Oh, Danny Phantom was the guy.
Was that
That was
like
the
your
best.
ultimate?
Yeah. I don't
Fair.
know what that says about me, and maybe I shouldn't admit these things, but yes.
It's here now. We've already shared it. And also it can't really make you feel bad because I said the same. So you're okay.
Okay, yeah, we're both Danny
Yeah,
Phantom girls. It
there
like
you
checks out
go.
though.
Yeah, I think it works. Did you have like any other childhood crushes that you can remember? Like a person
Childhood
or a cartoon?
crushes. Big Time Rush was big, like for me. I
Oh
remember when it first
my
came out.
God.
Or like iCarly, Freddie.
You liked Freddie. The smile that just came up on your face. You're like,
I fucking love Freddie. I
Freddie
love
was
Freddie.
cute. Freddie
Freddie's a
was
guy.
cute.
Or like Wizards of Waverly Place, David Henry.
Oh, you were just
He's
very much into
cool.
like the nerdy, like that vibe.
Yeah, I have
Because
a
he was, yeah.
type.
I wasn't sure if you were gonna say him or the younger brother. What was
Yeah,
his name?
Austin T something. JT Austin.
That's his name, yeah.
I
Yeah.
do love him. JT
Yeah.
Austin's cool. But I liked him like in Wizards he was so funny and like
Yeah.
but he seemed to even though I was young, we were probably the same age, he was like, ah, that's too young. But
Juvenile.
then
Not for me.
yeah, but then he was on The Fosters, like the show.
Oh, yes. Was
And
it
they replaced him with a whole different guy. It was so
wasn't
funny.
it Noah? Is it Centineo? Is that how you say his name? Wasn't that
Yeah, yeah, which is so funny.
who
And I
was
was
in
so mad. I
charge
was like,
of
who's this
that?
guy? Yeah, who is this guy? Like, why did they?
Yeah.
JT Austin's like a legend. Why would you do that?
Who
But
put
also,
Peter
JT Austin was
Kavinsky
the
in here?
voice. Goddamn Peter. But JT Austin was also the voice of Diego from like Dora the Explorer, like that universe. That
No
universe.
way.
Yeah, I think so. I could be wrong. We should cross. Do not take anything I say as fact.
We have to cross-check and reference all these
But
things.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure.
I could
Yeah.
see it. I could see that though in a weird way. I mean, it makes
Mhm.
sense. It's not totally far-fetched.
if we're talking crushes, like Spider-Man has been in my heart since like I was little. I love Spider-Man. I have Spider-Man everything. Like to this day,
Oh,
I like have a Spider-Man magazine there. Like
yeah.
if there's Spider-Man, oh my God, there's like those poppets, the Spider-Man, those like
Yeah. Oh my
two of these.
God.
I'm a
I
big
love the
Spider-Man
little Funko
girly.
Pops.
I
Those things are
love
so much
Funko
fun.
Pops, yes.
Those are so
No, I'm a
much
big
fun.
Spider-Man girly.
That's
Yeah, I love
cute.
Spider-Man.
Okay. Did you have, if I
Yeah.
have to ask, because this is like the question I feel like everyone asks when they say or they hear someone like Spider-Man is, do you have like a favorite actor when it
Yeah.
comes to like representation?
Yes. Yes. I think, okay, controversial. And this is like, I know a lot of people have their own opinions and they're very vocal about it. But Tom Holland, I think, is the best Spider-Man, the most accurate Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I think he's done the best job. I think his movies
Yeah.
also, they spent so much time. It seems like the effort is there.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying the other Spider-Mans are bad because I love them so much.
That's totally
Like,
fine.
as
Yeah.
much as people hate on Andrew Garfield, I think his
Yeah.
Spider-Man was so fun.
Yeah.
And it's just because he's such an incredible actor.
Yeah.
And we can't forget the OG Toby. Like, of
Yeah.
course, I grew up with him and I have that nostalgic feeling, of
It like
course.
started the
But
obsession in a way. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. But if we're gonna be like impartial and try and like, I think Tom Holland is the most accurate Spider-Man, so he has to be the best. True to the
Yeah.
comics, true to the storyline, true to the everything. Like it fits and it makes sense.
Yeah. That's great because I feel like and again, I don't have like the perfect recollection of like Toby or Andrew playing that
Hmm.
role, but from what I've seen of him, and I don't know so much about Spider-Man, so I trust your opinion. But it is very much like I feel like the personality alignment is just so good.
Yeah, and I don't want to take away from the other Spider-Mans.
No,
Like,
not at all.
Toby and Andrew did a fantastic job in their own little universe of Spider-Man. Like they killed it,
Yeah.
and they did
Yeah.
so good. And I enjoyed thoroughly every single one of their movies.
Yep.
But Tom is the most
It's a
accurate.
different part of your heart. That's okay. And that's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah.
I love that.
Exactly, exactly.
Fair. Okay. So
Yeah,
easily then, if you had to dissect this, like, because this ties into the whole movies thing of what we were talking about, and obviously it's part of the whole like Marvel universe in a way. Was that like your favorite, I guess, character or
superhero.
superhero? Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
Spider-Man
without a
is.
doubt.
Like even like the Into the Spider-Verse movies, like there's such a vat. I don't know if you've seen the Into the Spider-Verse
I
movies.
need to. I have not. There's a lot
So
I'm
good.
learning here that I need to watch right now.
So they're incredible. They're like, oh, because it's an animation. They take it like the endless opportunities you can do, like they do it because it's Into the Spider-Verse. There's different like universes and
Yeah.
oh, it's so cool. It's so cool. It's amazing.
I love that.
But Spider-Man definitely is my favorite. The rest of them, like if I had to do a tier list, I hate doing that.
It's
I don't
tough.
know. They all switch over. And I recently just did a deep dive in Marvel again because it
Yeah.
happens like every year.
Every
I'll
so many
like
years.
rewatch a
Yeah.
bunch of movies. Yeah. So like Iron Man's up there.
I
Don't
love
it's not in
Iron
any
Man.
order. Iron Man, Black Panther has to be there.
Hmm.
Thor is still
Hmm.
there. Captain America is still there. Like all of them are still there.
Yeah.
Just sometimes I move around the order.
That makes sense because
Yeah.
there's so much of it too for me. Like I love Iron Man and then also Thor grew on me, but Captain America was always my favorite. And that's literally because of like I love how they incorporate anti-heroes into Marvel. So like Wanda,
They're so good.
Loki, for me it's the
Yeah.
Winter Soldier or Bucky. Like he's like my
Yeah.
favorite. I just love his
Yes.
character. I love Sebastian Stan. That says a lot. So obviously I'm
His
swayed.
character growth was cool too. And
It
he
was
just
really
popped up
cool.
in different movies, like the way they incorporated him and even Black Panther, like the way
Yes.
he's in that universe
Yes.
too, in that little, so
Yeah.
cool. So
Yeah.
cool. I love how
I just love
interconnected
that.
everything is.
Yeah.
Marvel is so cool.
It's insane when you really sit down and start to dissect it. Like
Yeah.
my favorite like movie that I can watch literally any time is Captain America the Winter Soldier because of that character. Like I love it. But then
So good.
again, like you said, when you think about his character development and how he's not necessarily a primary character, but the way they keep bringing him back into so many different things, crazy. It's so crazy.
Yeah. Even like how they incorporate like Hawkeye or
Yes.
Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of them.
Yeah. It's so cool.
Scarlet Witch does it too. Yeah, it's like yeah,
It's
it's cool.
really
It's cool.
unique. It's really cool. Okay. So moving along, I have one more question for you. We talked a lot about like shows, movies, podcasts, and that sort of thing, and even food. We didn't really touch on to music too much, but we
Mm-mm.
learned, I feel like in the last like year or so that we have a lot of music tastes that's similar.
We
And
overlap,
so
yeah.
we overlap a lot. I didn't realize you liked Big Time Rush, and if I did earlier, we would have gone to see them. But next time, next time.
Funny.
No, but
Yeah.
I really wanted to share firstly that last year we went to our very first show together ever, which is crazy because I feel like there's so many more shows that we should go to. And we saw the
Well,
Jonas
we've been to
Brothers.
concerts together, like as in you've also been to the
You
same
were there and
concerts
I
as
was
I've
there.
been,
Yeah, yeah.
but we've never been together. But yes, Jonas Brothers was the time where we were like, yes, let's do it together. We got
Yes.
this.
Yeah, and that was our first show ever, which was like I
That
think
was
the
so
best. It
fun.
was
That
so
was a
funny.
hoot.
I gotta ask, of all the shows that you've gone to, which one has been your favorite? And then kind of, I guess, a second question going off of that, which artists or artist would you absolutely love to see again?
Ooh, that's a rough question because there's so many.
It's
But I've
loaded.
been
I
to so
know.
many concerts. We went to see Kendrick Lamar, I think a year or two ago. I forget, I honestly timeline,
Oh,
don't
I
ask
know
me
it's
timing, but
hard.
yeah, so good. And that was like a last minute. We didn't have tickets the day of, and then okay, by the way, only go to these concerts because of my friends. Like they're the best at getting tickets. I can't, don't put that on me. I don't want that. It's
That's
too
a
much
lot of
pressure.
stress.
It's too much for me to deal with. I will reply, I'll answer, I'll send you the money, I'll do whatever. It's just you need to pull the
You
trigger
got to
and
get
deal
them.
with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't. I'm not that girl. And my friends understand that. And I'm so grateful they do. And they don't give me any shit for it. So I love it. But Kendrick Lamar, she got tickets. Like she scored tickets, Jessica. She scored tickets like the day of. And that
Yeah.
was great. And I guess they emptied up a bunch of seats because I guess they didn't know where his stage was going to be or whatever. But we're
Right.
like right in front of the stage. It was crazy.
That's
But it was
insane.
an incredible concert. Baby Keem came out too. And like they did their song. It was so,
Yeah.
so, so, so good. So good. It was such a good concert.
That's
Drake was up
amazing.
there. It was so funny. Drake was in the corner and I was like looking up. I'm like, that
He's
guy looks
always
familiar. Like
there.
I know him.
Always. Yeah.
Always. He's
Yeah.
just be there. But yeah, I
Yeah.
was like, what? Who is that guy? That guy looks so familiar. Like I know him in my personal life. I was like looking up and I even like told my friend, I was like, that guy looks so familiar. And he turns around and it's Drake. I'm like,
Crazy.
huh, that's
Crazy.
funny.
There was a time where like I think it was in a time span of like 2 months. I went to see Rosalia and then I went to see Jack Harlow. And he was just conveniently at both of those because he was close with those
Oh,
artists. But it was just so funny. I was like, this is so random. But no, that sounds like an amazing show.
how's Rosalia?
Oh my God.
Oh,
That
that's what I
show,
should have gone to. I should have gone to that one. I have regrets.
I can't explain enough to people how blown away I was because I already liked
Oh,
her
she's a
music.
performer.
I thought her personality was really cool, but I went into it not knowing much about her and I left like obsessed with her. But also the stage design was insane, choreography was insane, outfit was insane.
Wow.
Like there was just so much about it where you were never tired, you were never bored. I also want to add she did not have an opener, which I love when an artist doesn't have an opener sometimes because it's like just getting straight to what
Get
you
straight to
want
it.
to
Yeah.
see. And so she came out, performed for literally, I think like 2.5 hours, didn't take a
Wow.
break, just
Wow.
kept going. And I was just like in awe the entire time. I had like goosebumps at certain points because she goes from doing like
Wow.
these really like upbeat, fun songs to doing very slow tempo, more heartfelt songs where obviously she's a little more emotional and that sort of thing. I was just like, holy shit. Like I've gone to quite a few shows and I don't think I've been captivated before, but not like this. And I'm just like now
Mm.
in my head, not to compare because every artist is so different. But I've yet to
Oh
see something
God.
meet that level for me because I was like, this was
Yes.
so unexpected.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, I feel
amazing.
that way with like Kendrick.
Yeah.
Or yeah, Kendrick I feel like was up there for me. Division was really cool. I don't know if you know Division, but
Oh,
they
yeah.
did like an orchestra. It was really cool. They
Oh,
did an
no way.
orchestra. It was insane. It's never nothing like I've ever seen before. But that was cool. I've seen
Yeah.
Dave twice now, or maybe three times.
That, oh my God. I think
Dave
it was
was cool.
one of the
Dave was
times
so
I'd
dope.
seen you post about it and I was like, I wish I went. That looked so
I
cool.
know, damn. We need to like have a concert chat to make sure we're all on the same page.
Like a list. Okay, do we want to see this person
Yeah,
together? Maybe? Okay, yeah.
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
for
I
sure.
recently saw SZA again for the second time. Amazing. SZA's the best. SZA's a hoot.
Was I? Okay,
SZA's
correct me if
great.
I'm wrong. Was Omar Apollo opening for her?
I don't remember. But Omar Apollo I've
Oh,
seen also amazing. I don't
I
did he
love Omar
honestly don't remember.
Apollo.
He's so good. He's so good.
I saw him and I
Yeah.
remember there was like a streak where my concert friend my concert buddy, we go to a lot of shows together, and we saw all these really wonderful artists at the Velvet Underground, which is a very small venue in Toronto. It holds like under 300 people.
Yeah,
And we
yeah.
were so excited to see him there. Oh my God, the way this venue was like silent, not that no one was applauding him or cheering or excited. Silent just because this guy opens his mouth to sing and everyone's just in awe, like, oh my God. It was beautiful. I was like, oh
Beautiful.
God, I love
You
Omar
know who gives
Apollo.
me those feelings? Ravina. I don't know if you know
I've
Ravina.
never seen her live, but I
Okay,
know
next
of
time
her.
she
Yes.
comes, I need to
Yeah.
hit you up. She started her show off with like meditation. I feel like I talked about this in the last episode, maybe. I don't know. I feel like I
You
have
may
deja
have,
vu.
but I've never gone to a show where an artist has done that. So I think that's
So
so
good.
interesting. Yeah.
So it was so good. Like
Yeah.
I've never left a concert feeling like zen and like whew. It's always like
Oh.
chaotic. Like I recently
Because
just
you're like,
saw
I gotta
Burna
go, I gotta
Boy.
go. Yeah.
And it was
Burna
such a fun time.
Boy.
Burna Boy is so good, but then like I left and I was like all over the place. I was so like amped up, and I
Fair,
know his
fair.
music is like that, so it makes sense. But I've never thought to go to like a chill. Like she was so chill.
Yeah.
Ravina's chill. Amine's good. Kitranada I saw again. It
Oh,
was so good. Kitranada was
that's
so good.
amazing.
I want to see Katra in like Montreal or something. That'd be fun.
Oh, that would be really fun, like hometown show.
hmm
That'd be really
But
cool.
I would want to see Dave again. AJ Tracy would be fun to
Yes.
see again.
Ooh,
Daniel Caesar, because the last time I went, it was at the Budweiser and we had seats way at the back and it was good, but like it
gotcha.
was hectic. It was a crazy time. So
Yeah.
I'd want to see Daniel Caesar again.
Cool.
My
Okay.
first concert ever was J. Cole, so I'd want to see J. Cole again.
Oh, that's a crazy first concert. That's cool.
I know. And it was
Oh my
incredible and
God.
it blew my mind. It was so good. Oh, they're such great people. I
That's
don't even
so
know them.
cool.
They're good
Yeah,
people.
they're good people. No, no, that's great. I love that. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So it's like a
How
pretty
about
good
you?
list.
Do you remember your first concert?
I do. I was like, I don't want to say. Not that I don't like the artist still, but it's just like, okay, I'll just say it. I didn't stay
You don't
for
have to.
her. No, I didn't stay for her, but it was Katy Perry's concert at
Oh,
Budweiser.
okay.
And
Yes.
the opening bands for her were like these Canadian bands, but one of them was this band called The Stereos, and I was
No
obsessed.
idea.
Do you remember on Much Music there was a show called Disband or
Yeah.
Disbanded or whatever? And they would like basically find these like bands or whatever, sign them, like
hmm
put them through this training, and then they would like be signed to label or whatever and do their music thing.
Yeah.
This was one of those bands, and I was
Oh.
obsessed with them. And so they showed up because they were opening for her on her tour for the Canadian dates. And I was like, oh my God, like number one fan. That was my very first concert. And it was a very big concert for my first one. And then after
hmm
that, I went to like a lot of my sister was very into like alternative indie type music. So she introduced me to so many cool bands and I saw so many amazing artists live. Like I'll never forget. I think I was like 14 years old and I saw Phoenix and Tokyo Police Club at this
Yeah.
like arena and I was literally at the barricade, like getting crushed into this
Oh,
barricade because I'm a kid and my sister and her friend are like pretty much around me making sure I'm good. But the show itself was amazing. So it got
that's
me really
amazing.
into like going to concerts at such a young age. I'll say, oh, it's so hard.
They're
One of
so
the
hard.
shows that I loved still to this day was I saw the Black Keys in like 2012. That was
Wow.
amazing. Anytime I've seen The Neighborhood, they're not really
hmm
like a thing right now, which is sad because they're like one of my favorite bands to this day. Anytime I've
Oh,
seen them is has been so good. I love them. I saw Amine once back in like 2017, and that was one of the most fun shows I've ever been to this
he's
day.
such a hoot. He's so fun. He
He's
just wants
so
everyone to have a good
good.
time. And he says, what does he say? He makes you chant something, right? He's
I
screaming
think he
something in
does.
the
I never know what it is though,
yeah.
because like I've been to a couple of shows where they do that, and so I always get it mixed up. But he's
Oh
really
God, yeah.
good. I
Oh,
went.
it's You're Beautiful. And you go back, I
Oh,
know.
oh, that's cute. Yes, that's it.
And it's so sweet. And you're like, oh my God, I know, stop.
You're like,
Like it's
please, this
so
is too
good.
much. He's really fun. I would love to see him again. I'll put him up there. I would love to see him again. If the neighborhood
His
ever
little
comes
crew
back,
seems
I put
like
them in there.
his crew seems so fun to hang like Amini's little
Yes.
hang like whoever he hangs out with, they
Yeah.
just seem like a hoot. They look
Every
like such
one
a
of
fun.
them.
They're just living their best life, and that's like, wow.
Yeah. It's great.
Wow. Good
So
for you.
there's
Yeah.
that. And I love when artists are fun in that sense too, of like that sounds so vague to say when an artist is fun, but it's kind of just like when they're so chill when they're on stage, but still know when to get really into it. And there's like it goes like up and
Yeah.
down. Like it's fun, like it's
Tyler
never
does
dull.
that.
Yeah. Oh my God, how did I forget? He's great
Yeah.
live. He's so much fun
Yeah.
live. I saw him, I think, twice. He's really fun live. And then I feel like when people ask me this, I forget
Kelly
everyone I've seen.
Uchis great. Kelly
I've
Uchis
never seen her
crazy live.
live.
Holy, I think she opened for Tyler, but like that was insane. Her
Crazy.
stage presence, performing, like
Yeah.
talk about a performer.
Yeah.
Amazing. Amazing.
I need to see
Yeah.
her. I just remembered now. I'll say because the three shows I went to, or the four shows I went to last year, all back to back, I felt like were so good in their own way. So I saw Rosalia shortly after I saw Demi Lovato. I've seen her every time she's come here. Like
You're a demi girl.
it's just I know people have
Yeah.
their like, girl, what is going on there? But and her voice is
Mhm.
beautiful, truly. So it was amazing to
She
get to
does
see
have a great
her.
voice.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
so good to see her again. And then I saw Jack Harlow for the first time. I think he's hilarious and he brought that
How
energy to stage. I'll say that.
okay, good,
Yeah,
good,
yeah.
good.
He was so funny, so that was great. And then I finished that sort of run of shows with seeing Stromae. Oh my God,
Hmm.
what a
Dude, I did
legend. Like
a
crazy.
French project. I did a French
Yes.
project on Stromae
Yeah.
way back when. And it was Allo Dance, I think it was.
Yes.
That was
Yeah.
his song. And I remember I
Yeah.
did a project on that. And then I saw him blow up. And that song blew up. And I'm like, oh my God, like bring
Amazing.
back memories. And that was like way back in like, I don't know, grade
Like
10. Like
that was
I was
so long ago. Yeah. Yeah.
crazy. Yeah. And I'm like,
So
this
good.
sounds so familiar. And I forgot his name. And I'm like, oh my God.
Stromae
But
is
he seems like an
amazing.
incredible artist.
He's
Yeah.
amazing live. Him and his entire band was just, it was just honestly like
Wow.
breathtaking. They were so cool. There's one artist coming to mind now who I do want to share before I forget. I saw Teo for the first time
Mhm.
I think it was last year live, and I am so obsessed with this guy's music because his voice is just so like it's so good. I can't describe it any other way. But he was opening for Justin Bieber on tour, and I was so desperate to see him that I almost bought a ticket just to see him sing for 20 minutes, and I didn't do it. Thank God I didn't do
Oh,
it. Because
imagine.
he went on his own headlining tour and he came back to Toronto and he did the Velvet
Oh,
Underground. So again, that small venue where it was just so intimate
chill
and
venue. Yeah.
so good. Oh my God. I like freaked out and I loved that show so much. So he was really good. And then I think the most recent show I went to was kind of, since we were talking about that idea of like going to a slower show or something more calm. I went and saw this artist named Ryan Beatty literally like 2 or 3 weeks
Hmm.
ago. Oh my God. God bless his heart. He is just so wholesome. His music is so soothing,
Oh,
so
oh,
beautiful. Just
yeah.
and the whole premise of his show is literally like his band is set up around him. Like literally like it's like 7 people set up around him and then his seat
Mhm.
is just in the middle. They all come out one by one and introduce themselves and then he comes out and he just puts his headphones on and sits down and starts
Just
singing.
goes at it. Oh,
It was so
amazing.
beautiful. And that was one of those shows where like I knew I wanted to go. I literally bought tickets like 2 hours before the show. Showed up.
Yeah.
He didn't have an
Yeah.
opener. He started and then he was on there for like an hour and a half and then he got off and that was it. And it was like I
Oh, that's
left just in
amazing.
such a good mood and it was
Yeah.
great. Yeah. So he's a great
Oh, I
artist.
love music. I love
Yeah.
music so much. Honestly, I haven't like there was a time where I would keep up with a lot of stuff, but
Yes.
recently it's so bad, but I'm just like having a hard time just trying to explore music. I feel like I sent it to you
Yes.
once too, where I was like, girl, let's do a blended Spotify thing because I need
Yes.
new
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would
But I
love to
still go through
like
those. Yeah.
yeah, I would love to even like do more playlists and stuff because I find that so much fun to do.
Yeah,
But at the same
for
time, I'm
sure.
right there with you where it's like sometimes you just can't get into it. And sometimes you're fully on it and you can find all these artists and it's so good. But other times it just kind of drifts off and it's not so easy to discover new music. And you have to really be in like a mood
Yeah.
or a mindset for it. It's tough.
So when I started working from home more,
Hmm.
or like working from away, like I've got not from home, like anywhere else,
Hmm.
there's less commute because I would commute to the office. I'd take the GO train or I'd take the subway, and
Yeah.
that's my time to listen to podcasts, to listen to that's where I catch up on music, that's where I read my books, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
now because I fit that into my schedule in that way,
Hmm.
now either I'm driving to places or like I'm getting driven to places. Like I don't have
Hmm.
time to like calm down and listen to stuff. I need to fit that in another part of my life, and I haven't figured that out yet.
That's
And that's like
true.
where I struggle. But I
Yeah.
used to love commuting just for that aspect of catching up on things. Everything else about commuting sucks.
Wow.
But the
Yeah.
fact that I could catch up on music, catch up on like new podcasts, I was so up to date on my stuff. But
I
now it
love
fell off.
that. Yeah. I
It
That's
fell
kind of
off.
making me see commuting in a different way as a whole because I never really thought of it because I've
Mhm.
been in either of the situations where I've worked from home or I've either driven. And so it's like I'm one of those people where when I'm driving, I'm just anxious. So I don't like, I'll play music
Same.
or whatever, or I'll play a podcast, but I'm not actually fully listening because I'm so
Me
focused on
neither.
driving. Whereas when
Same.
you're on a train or you're on a bus or whatever it may be, or even walking, whatever the rest of your journey is,
You
you
have
have the
nothing else to
time.
do. You
Yeah.
have nothing else. You turn your brain off and you just listen. So when you
Yeah.
commute here, use that time
I
to
will. I will.
hopefully that motivates you to come here more. So
So that I can actually catch up on music and find new artists. No, it's
me just
true.
like
It's true.
trying to convince you to come through more.
No, I need
You can
to, and I've been
listen to
meaning
stuff.
to. I know, and it's on it's honestly on my brain more than it might seem. Like I do think about it often. I'm like, oh,
Oh, I know
I
you
should
think
just go
about it.
down.
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
should. That's
Yeah,
literally the type of
yeah.
person I am where I'm like, if I say it, I genuinely mean it. It's not that I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not down, but yeah, I need to because now I literally have like so many podcasts that just stack up, and I need to find the time.
Honestly though,
Yeah.
I used to listen to so many podcasts when I used to commute, and now I'm like, what is happening? And then I'll listen back to them. I'm like, so much has changed.
Yeah.
There's like a whole
Yeah.
different voice you hear, and you're like, who
Yeah.
is that?
Oh, it's
Oh my God.
insane. It's crazy.
Crazy.
Well, thank you so much for all of this today. You shared so much. I'm so glad to hear about the work updates and that things are going so good. And it sounds like it's going amazing. So I'm sure you're going to do many, many more wonderful things this year. And also, please feel free to start some sort of like a note, a shared note, or a list of some sort where we can hit up more cafes because we need to bring
Yeah,
that
we should
back.
have the
Now
cafe
it's
notes
getting
up.
nicer
Yeah, yeah.
and we can do more of that and actually see each other. But more so, thank you so much for coming on again and catching me up with everything and sharing some of your favorites at the
No,
moment. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much for asking me. Thank you for like spending time on coming
Yeah.
up with all of it. This is amazing. Thanks for making the podcast. I love it.
Thank you
I love
so
it so
much. The
much.
fact that you give me such positive feedback really means so much more than I can say. I really appreciate it.
Oh, you're the best. This was so good. This was like a needed talk needed. Like we needed to have this sit
Very
down
much.
discussion, and having it with a podcast just is just that much more better. Like it's so much more fun.
Yeah, it took our voice or audio messages to the next level. So I love it.
I know. No, one day we'll compile all those audio messages. It'll play at
It'll
the
come
end of your
out.
podcast.
I love talking with you, so thank you.
I'll see you again next year.
Yep, we're doing it again
Me,
every
not
year.
me inviting myself. No, I'll see you again.
No, I was gonna say it again anyways, so you just beat me to it. So that's totally cool with me. But next year, she'll be back
That's
next
so
year.
funny.
Okay, so first of all, I want to say two major thank yous here. One to Jigisha for taking so much time and energy out of her very busy schedule to come back and do another episode with me. It means the world, and I love that we got to catch up in this kind of way and share that with you. Two, I want to say thank you so much for listening, for being here, checking out this episode, and just devoting your time and energy as well. It means the world to me. And I also just want to say if there's ever anything that you want to hear about on an episode, or there's something that you ever want to chat about, feel free to reach out on Instagram at the Trying Times Podcast because I'd love to send her more episodes in the future around that and hear from you and hear about what you want to talk about and maybe even have more people join me on the show. That'd be fun. I love doing that. So I would love to have you join. So, yeah, that's basically all for this episode. Again, thank you so much to Jigisha. Thank you so much for listening. And I hope to chat with you again soon. Okay, bye.